Excuse me, Mr. DJ.
Hey, check this out. We got a great show coming your way.
From the ECSI Sports Studios, it's the Midday Market Report with Jeff Dawson.
Good evening, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your closing bell for Tuesday, December 13th, 2022. Fifth show today. Now, I'm not saying that just to say that. I'm saying that because it's been a long day, but that doesn't mean the show stops, and I feel obligated. I reached out to my co-host, and I says, are you up for a show? And he threw it back at me, and I was like, no, I meant you. I mean, I feel disingenuous when I don't come on here, and I've done all the work all day, and, I had an early show this morning with Brady Tinker. Dave Sharapan was on assignment. Then we come with Julian Edlow at 10:20, our weekly trip with him and DraftKings. 1 o'clock, I go to L.A. with Pops DiBiase and the NFL Bet Exchange, our third year. At 3:30, Ron. I stay in L.A. and go with Ron, talking NFL and NCAAB. And now it's the closing bell time. ECSI VIPs, a loss last night. Team total... Wild over 3.5. Got too early, and that was it. 2-1. Thanks for playing. All unders in the NHL, but one. The Rangers Devils go over. I did say on the show I did like the Rangers just by a squeak. And before I vent, I'm going to bring my co-host on so he can hear this because I think he's going to get a chuckle out of this. So without further ado, let's bring him in, Mr. Southside Riley himself. Good afternoon, sir.
What is up, my friend? You are a busy man. I am ready to rock and roll for you. So fifth show of the day. I am honored, as always, to be the anchor whenever you have those types of swings like that. But, no, I'm ready to roll, my friend. Glad to be back with you, as always. I had some, decent conversation yesterday about yesterday's slate. We didn't have anything too crazy on the board. You and I, you were right about the Brooklyn Nets, for goodness sakes. I got you back with the Blazers later in the night, though, but I was more confident in the other one. Didn't play either one. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but glad to be here on Tuesday afternoon, as always, my friend.
So I had to bring you on. I didn't want to vent without you, and as you know, I'm in high-stakes fantasy football. 8 teams I managed this year. The last game of the regular season, I literally had 4 teams either in or out on the cusp. I had one team that I talked to my partner on this one, and I was like, he goes, what do you think? I says, well, we only have one shot and one shot only, and I'm not going to say it because I believe in karma. So he said it. Here's what it was. We were up 11 with Marquise Brown. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. Let me backtrack that. Down 11. With Ramondre Stevens versus Kyler Murray. So he goes, yeah, Kyler's going to have to get knocked out, and then we'll have an opportunity early. So I wrapped up bowling night last night, and as I'm finishing, I have to say, are you awake? Are you awake? Do you see what's going on? Third play of the game, Kyler goes down. And he calls me up, oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God. And then every time Stevenson touched the ball, I'm like, just get up, get up, get up. And then he stays down. Now to backtrack, Kyler goes down, and then Devontae Parker goes down. And they always talk about the turf in Arizona. Yeah. And then I think it was a couple plays later, Stevenson goes down. So now the night, is he coming back? Is he not coming back? Well, Stevenson, second quarter, gives it a shot. Now, it's PPR, so you just give me 3 quick catches, give me whatever, get in, get your 8. Now we only need 8 and get out. Halftime, is he coming back? First series, Second play, they throw it to him. And I'm like, all right, we got a shot here. And then reporter comes on a minute later. Yes, just confirmed Stevenson will not return. So that's done. I told you I believe in karma. But the next one's really going to get you.
Oh, boy.
11-point lead with Marquise Brown versus the Patriots defense.
Oh.
And so on another team, I have D-Hop. We needed 3 points with D-Hop. We got it. So then in the second or third quarter, on 15, catches it. He's holding it like a loaf of bread. Fumble, picked up, scoop, touchdown. There's a quick 6 points. And I'm just like, oh, my God, for Riley plus 500 TD touchdown. Now there goes my swing for 200,000. But now it gets better because we're still in the lead. Okay. And then sack. And I'm like, oh, my God. And we got a half-point lead and then another sack. So now we're trailing by 2 points.
Yep.
Fourth quarter, I don't know how many drives I got. First down, Marquise Brown, 15-yard catch, first down. That gets me 2.5 points. That puts me ahead by a half point. That gets me into the playoffs with a 3-week run for $200,000. In comes the yellow flag, illegal shift. Thanks for playing. So the Patriots defense got 20, and they beat us by 2. So that team is gone. So I thought of you. And the funny is my prop with Henry, as he catches the ball right down the seam, and in come the 2 safeties like, Ronnie Lott and Deion Sanders, and stops him at the 2. But congratulations on your prop play.
Well, thank you. I didn't have too much. I would have preferred to know that you won your. I would have sacrificed my small entertainment action for your fantasy action there. And as far as Marquise Brown, because I had you and I agreed on the touchdown for Marquise Brown. I had a little sprinkle on him to have the most yards. At I think by the time I caught it, it ballooned up to. Or no, it was 5-1, then dropped down to almost 4-1. And then Murray goes down, and as soon as I saw Murray go down, I'm like, oh, geez, like I guess there's a chance, but McCoy's probably going to be feeding D-Hop a decent amount, and he did it enough. And I think he went over his D-Hop just barely went over his yardage prop that I was talking about. I ended up leaving that on the board, thankfully, but and that was one where, especially after Murray goes down, I usually love a good sweat, especially if I've got some entertainment. But I looked at my girlfriend, I was like, I've got 4 things that are 3 of them are 5-1 or something along those lines. I don't need to be sweating this bad. So I took a step away from it. So I again will say I wish I could have sacrificed my action for your, because I was 5 minutes late. I pop open. I think my girlfriend and I was like, let's watch a movie or something. I pop open ESPN to check the score, and I was like, oh shoot, I actually got my winner here. So no, I don't feel like I deserve it compared to what you needed there. So I apologize, but I will take the 5-1. I think it was 550. Score there. So, but as far as some bad fantasy, I don't know if we talked about it yesterday, but the T. Higgins stuff I know has got a lot of people chapped. Thankfully, it cost me. I had a matchup where I needed help if I lost to stay in the playoffs, and thankfully got the loss. But I had to start Tarek Carr, who got I think a whopping 3 points, and then had T. Higgins. So thankfully, I got some help and got the other loss and got in the playoffs. And as far as that one is concerned, but I know a lot of people are pretty upset at the Bengals and T. Higgins for what happened on Sunday with him.
Yeah, I talked to Ron today about that. Shout out to Andrew McGinnis. Thank you.
Yes.
Wishing us to have a night, fellas. You as well as we are on a heater at ECSI. Andrew is right there with us. He's on a great hockey heater. If you are not following Andrew McGinnis, go to McGinnis Picks or Wager Talk to get all his stuff there. One of the great guys in our lanes, as stand up as they come. Love the kid to death. He will be on Wednesday. Today's Tuesday, right? He'll be on tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Already losing track of days here. About the injuries, about the lack of practice, about the extended games, and these guys just tapping out with the minutes injuries, looking at bye weeks and saying, well, why should I play next week when we have a bye week after that? I don't want to re-injure myself. And right. T. Higgins now, perfect example. Didn't practice Wednesday, light practice Thursday, light practice Friday, not on the report on Sunday. First snap goes out and then just taps out. And when they spoke to one of the coaches, he goes, yeah, we didn't expect him to play anyways.
Yeah.
But, in a billion-dollar business, fantasy, not even talking the sports wagering or the lying that the Bengals did, because obviously when you're bringing out Chase, Higgins, and Boyd, you don't want to say that Higgins, the number 2 receiver, is out, because then they have a chance to work on their defense all week. So they kind of lied. I think personally they should be fined for it, but what do I know?
Yeah, no, I can understand. I understand both sides of that argument. As far as if there's any precedent on it, the NFL has to set any type of precedent. If there's no precedent, I understand that the Bengals say, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. This is gamesmanship. I understand that, and I understand this side of it as well. And like I said, if I didn't get the help, I'm sure I would have been a lot more upset today and yesterday when we're talking about this conversation, because I obviously got the help elsewhere. But yeah, no, I think there needs to be some type of precedent for that to some degree at least. And a totally different, it seems like totally different conversation as far as setting precedent. Lately we've been seeing teams intentionally, and this is outside of fantasy, but it seems like I'm drawing a blank on who it was. Somebody might get fined where guys, when team is hurry up or something along those guys, a guy will just fall right down. Most of the time this season, we've been seeing it. These guys actually act like they're injured. I'm drawing a blank on who it was. I want to say Cam Jordan the other day. I could be wrong about that.
Saints.
So it was the Saints, right? And he, instead of acting, he just drops to a knee and just sits on a knee, and that's totally different conversation. But it seems like there might be setting a precedent. So that's obviously very different from the conversation. But maybe this is both of these things are something they might actually set a precedent for going forward, maybe in the offseason here.
I said this to Ron at 3:30. I'll say it one more time. Not that they will do this, but the NFL has always wanted the headlines from September all the way through. I think it's President's Day. Okay. Here's the simple process here. You take the 3 preseason games, you cut it to 2. You add one more regular season game. Okay. And now you're up to 18. You add a bye week. Okay. And then what you do is you eliminate Thursday night. So you play 2 games on Monday night. You play a East Coast game and a West Coast game. Okay. And then you play your regular games on Sunday. And then what happens is come December, when college is out, you can add your 3 games on Saturday, your Sunday games, and still have your 2. And that will take you through President's Day. That will then take you right up to your college day out in wherever it's going to be for the, what do they call that? The kids working out in college.
Oh, the combine.
The combine. And the funny thing is now is what the NCAA has done is, hey, guys, if you don't make the Final Four, a lot of these guys are opting out because they're not in a big bowl game. They don't want to get hurt, number one. And then the NCAA has added the transfer portal. And what it has done is just created where these bowl games are just garbage. And I know they want to get an extra game. It helps the kids coming back, lead them into spring. I get all that, guys. Okay. But in the same token, you're charging thousands and thousands of dollars, and they're getting smoked on advertising TV rights for these bowl games. So that's why a lot of these big companies are just pulling the plug and say, you know what? I know I sponsored the Orange Bowl forever. I'm out.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm drawing a blank. I haven't dove too deep into this year's bowl outages and whatnot, but you've got that Iowa-Kentucky game with the quarterbacks taking a seat out. How disgusting is that going to be? Already probably would have been pretty disgusting, but I mean, we talked about it the other day with the total that one's at. So, yeah, that one. Some of them, like that one, is so disgusting that I can't wait to watch it. But it's at the same time, it's a disgusting, probably terrible product. So, yeah, no, I 100% agree with you on everything you just mentioned there with the college football and NFL systems there.
That game, first one to 17, the game's over. So they might have to play 6 or 7 quarters, but first one to 17 there. Late night, I woke up. I checked my San Francisco Dons were leading the whole game. I saw they lost by 3. They did cover. I said they might give New Mexico their first loss there. You talked about the NBA. The Celtics, basically in a nutshell, an absolute no-show. against a Clipper team that we've talked about at length that have been hit pretty hard in the futures market. They showed what they're all about. If Paul George, if Kawhi are all playing, they are a team that in a 7-game series you don't want to mess with. So now the Celtics, who were leading the Suns by 50, beat them by 30. Then go to Golden State where they had that game circled, lose. Then they lose to the Clippers. And at this point, a rejuvenated Lakers team saying, all right, let's make this 3 in a row for the Celtics and say, hey, you know what? You want to come out west, pal? Come on down. And it'll be interesting once we get to that game, your thoughts on the Lakers.
Yeah, definitely. And as far as the Celtics and that Clippers conversation is concerned, you and I talked about it. I was slightly in on the. I wasn't driving the bandwagon. I wasn't waving the flags for the bandwagon on the Clippers in the offseason. I was kind of quietly sitting in the back seat and of the Clippers parade in the offseason, kind of quietly. I kind of believe in the Clippers. I wasn't in the Clippers are definitely coming out of the West, but but this is still a point where if you get Kawhi Leonard and Paul George playing, now consistent amount of games and the bulk of what they've missed is in the rearview mirror, then I think the Clippers should be believed in. But if you go through another February, March stretch where Kawhi Leonard plays 3 games or no games or something like that, then we're back into that conversation of, they need to get some reps together, right? All these teams that have had so much, I think there is somewhat of a nice balance, if with what the Bucks do with Giannis. If you got 1 game a month or something like that where you circle it, let's give him a rest against the Rockets or something like that. I'm fine with that, and he's playing. He ends up playing over 70 games, but. Even looking back when he was with Toronto, plays 60 games. That's 20 games missed. I think that's a lot of games missed, but he hasn't cracked 60, and obviously didn't play at all the last season. But 52 and 57 with the Clippers, I think he needs to get up over that mark to legitimately have a nice flow going into the playoffs here. So, I'll believe in the Clippers if they can play a normal regular season and get a lot of reps. But if these guys are missing a ton of games again and they go get hot and then they rest for a month, and I'm gonna expect them to kind of fizzle out in the playoffs again here. So I'm interested to see how the season plays out for the Clippers here.
Yeah, and the headway, the talk of the West right now is the big Z, Zion and the Pelicans. And I even saw today someone talking about them with the number 1 seed this year. It'd be interesting. Listen, you know what? I said when Zion came in, he reminded me, and the only reason I said this, and I was hoping not. Again, I believe in karma. I never root against people, but I hope he didn't beat Greg Oden. I just thought his body is at that type where once you start to grow into your body and mature and then play the NBA schedule, it might break down like an Oden. And it has early in his career. Now, listen, he's back. He's in shape. He's kicking ass right now. Yeah. The Pelicans are a force right now. Can he withstand the 80-game schedule? Can he withstand the playoffs as a whole nother? Be interested to see. And I wanted to bring this up when we're talking NFL load management. It might be where the NFL might have, if they don't want to go to my schedule, which makes too much sense to them, you might see some kind of maybe ad by the union where we're saying these guys are injured, wink, wink, where they're just out on load management. Hey, you know what? We're going to have these guys out on load management this week, and they're going to come back because there's just way too many injuries in the NFL. Now we go to the NBA with an 80-game schedule, and the NBA go back to the Spurs and Kawhi back in San Antonio, where I think it all began. There was no such thing back in the Larry Bird, Michael Jordan era load man. Are you shitting me? These guys were out there, hurt or not hurt, bad back or not. People are coming, paying to see us. We're going to make sure we're out there.
Right, and the NFL conversation, I do think it could get to that point, and I think the NFL could probably in the future is going to add another game and give it a second bye week. What you said about eliminating Thursday is what they should do. That I still don't know that they will do that. I think they might add games while not eliminating Thursday, which would be a shame, and that's not the right thing to do. If they do that, then I agree with you, especially on these Thursday night games. I could see them doing that type of stuff. But obviously, we'll see how that shakes out. But no, the load management conversation obviously is still very prevalent, and it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere anytime soon here.
Go to the NBA. 5 games in all. Sacramento at Philadelphia, a 4.5 for the 225.5 shots up to 229. I'm going to use circa tonight. 229 with a 4. To me, a Sacramento number. Again, wouldn't be shocked to see the Sixers, win by double digits. Would not be shocked to see Kings win outright. 229, 118. No, that's too much. 117. 130. Yeah, they got it around a 117, 113. And Melton out, Maxey out, Fox in for Sacramento.
Yeah, it looked like that Fox news came out within the last hour or so, and I had been seeing 5 for a lot of the last few hours, and then it kind of dipped after that Fox news, kind of 4.5, 4. So I agree with you. At first glance, I thought that more of the public would be in on this Kings team, 14-11. I know they're not at the hottest point of their season by any means. They lost in their most recent game. What's the date today? We've got so on Sunday they lost against the Knicks. And when I saw the 5, and I think I might have overlooked the Fox injury, I was thinking that was a Sixers number, but I was kind of correcting myself and agree with you that it is a Sacramento number. Looking at the money splits on this with the public being in on the Sixers the last 2 have put up 130, so I can see it from that respect there. But not enough love for this Kings team after what they've done to this point. I don't quite understand. And would have loved a 5 as opposed to a 4, obviously with some CLV. But as we've seen in the NBA, it's always important to get that, but not essential. I'm with you. A Kings number, but again, I would not also be surprised to see the Sixers put up a ton of points here. So, maybe this is just a really awesome offensive game, and we're scoring points both ways. But I'm with you. It felt like a Sacramento number for sure.
As we were talking, I was looking at the next game, Warriors at Milwaukee, a 3.5 with a 231 circa right now. Had it at a 3.5 and now 233. And as we were talking, Holiday has now been downgraded and out due to illness. Everyone went to 2.5, back to 3s. There are some 3.5s there. Initial eye test was definitely, in my eyes, it was a Golden State number. That was a little too low for the Bucks. I'm not running to the window to now play the Warriors because Holiday is out.
Correct, and it's on paper that's oh my gosh, you don't have the best guard on ball guard defender, and now you've got Steph running wild. Then on paper, yeah, 100%. And I'm with you. I would still be lean towards the Warriors winning this game, but I'm out on missing out on the number there. I just feel like maybe you would agree or disagree. They just had this win over the Celtics the other day. What is that, Saturday now? A couple days off. Maybe that's some type of momentum building. They've obviously been playing a lot better than what I don't remember what their record was, 6-11, 7-10, or whatever it was. Now they're 14-13. They're obviously playing a lot better. Still had a couple losses before that Celtics game, so maybe you think this is that game was maybe the turning point to some degree here. Now they're about to roll off some games. So I am with you. I'm staying away from it, as we've seen with so many of these injuries for sure. But you would expect the Warriors to have a better offensive night now with Drew Holiday out, because again, we've talked about this type of conversation. When you're when you're trying to build a team to stop the Warriors or Steph Curry himself, Drew Holiday is on that short list of guys you want out there with his on-ball defense and physicality. So that's a big loss. But the fact that the Bucks are still favored after that, obviously they're at home and they still got, I think Middleton is in, but lean Warriors, but I'm staying far away from it for sure.
100%. And maybe now you'll start to see the Warriors getting up for the big time teams, the Celtics, the Bucks, and that. And again, get over 500 is the first hump, and then take it from there. Next game, go ahead.
Sorry to go back. That one is the TNT game. So as you always say, that's exactly. That's one of the 2 TNT games of the night there.
Well, I'll just give you guys the final score. It's 118-114 Bucks. Okay, it lands right on 232-4. So he'll be calling us tomorrow. Jeff, how'd you know that? Just trust me on that one. Phoenix at Houston, I had a 5 with a 226.5. Circa now at a 6.5 with a 224. And let me guess, Chris Paul is out. Devin Booker is out. Again, little respect for the Suns there. I know the Rockets have been struggling, but again, and let me backtrack and stop here for a second, because you and I have done a lot of talk about the Pistons in the last couple of years. We've done a lot of talk about the Cade thing, and now in December has decided to have shin surgery and done for the year. Now, I know Adam Silver came out and specifically told the NBA, we're watching for Tankapalooza here for Wembayamba and the rest of the crew here. We're watching. It hasn't been that obvious. Does this smell to you at all?
I don't know. I haven't, as far as the Cade situation you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't look too deep into that injury situation. I did not realize it was that serious. But the way this season has gone, I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if it's fishy at all. And unlike some of these other teams that are in the spot that have a little bit more of a young core of depth, the Pistons, like I've been vocal, I love Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey as a duo and what they're building there. But behind that, they've got another piece or two behind him for now, but for a long-term build, they don't have much. So it would behoove them to, take a swing, whether it's at shooting for the stars and getting the 1 pick in Victor Wembanyama, or getting the top 3 pick. That would be huge for this rebuild. So to some degree, yes, but again, I don't want to speculate. Maybe that injury is that serious, but I'm with you. I was shocked to see him being out for the entire year at this point in the season. That was shocking to me for sure.
Get back to Phoenix, 6.5 of the 224. Stay, again, far away from this. With that said, without Booker, is that number seem like a little respect on the Sun side in Vegas?
It's tough to. I mean, they've lost 4 in a row, and it kind of just honestly, I still saw a lot of public buy-in to the Suns in this one, and so I don't know, and they've maybe not, because they've got 4 straight losses, but it's against Dallas, Boston, and 2 to New Orleans, who everyone's in love with now. So I don't know. I was wrong about feeling like it was too good to be true yesterday with the Nets and Wizards. So maybe I'm wrong with this one. Still felt a little too good to be true against the Rockets team that nobody has any respect for, but has been not been good, but been a lot scrappier the last week or so, a week or two, as opposed to, I think they were 5-20 or something along those lines. And I'm guesstimating there, but they're closer to 5-5 their last 10 or something along those lines. Is kind of what I'm trying to say. So I don't know, honestly. This one was tough. I'm not. You would expect the Suns to bounce back after 4 in a row, even without Booker. They played 2 really tough games against the Pelicans, so I don't know. I could see it being respect to the Suns, despite the 4-game losing streak, or I could see it being too good to be true, despite the loss of Booker and nobody believing in this Rockets team. I saw a lot of public buy-in to the Suns despite it, so that was leaning me towards the Rockets, but I'm staying so far away from it for sure.
The last 2 games are the 2 interesting games here. New Orleans at Utah. I have a 1 with a 231.5. Now it's circa 2 with 232.5. This is one side and one side only to me. I would play Utah, and that's the only side I would play tonight.
Yeah, I haven't made it. This was the one play that I was strongly considering. I mean, they just took down the Suns, whether it was with Devin Booker or not. Those are 2 really hard-fought games. You've got them, I think, 7 in a row now, and the Jazz 3-7, their last 10. Still playing solid, but certainly not rolling like they were. So feels like a pretty significant Jazz number here in my eyes. What honestly hesitates me is if Zion is playing like he has, I don't know who would be able to stop him on the Jazz side of things. I've paid attention to the Jazz. They're terrible in the paint. And so if Zion continues to play the way he has, it doesn't make sense to me that he wouldn't be able to score 35 on 70% shooting or something along those lines. But then again, the line stinks to high heaven with the way they're playing. They're the 1 seed in the league, just took down the Suns in back-to-back games. NBA, any serious NBA fan that might have been watching the NBA over the NFL just watched that game on Sunday go to overtime and the Pelicans outlast the Suns there. So absolutely felt like a Jazz number to me, still considering it. I don't know. Would you be more interested in the Jazz team total to go over, or would you be just straight play on the Jazz here?
So the straight numbers would lead me to believe initially 117, 115. The overnight number was 231 and a half, still around that. So did they give you Jazz 115 and a hook?
Yep, I see one book's got it's either 115.5 at around minus 120, or I see another one over 116.5 at minus 105.
I mean, I can see people that would be afraid to go to the window with the Jazz and say, you
Yeah.
know what? I tell you how to play this. If you
Yeah.
want in on this game, you take one unit. You take the Jazz plus the 2 for 33 cents of the 1 unit. You take the Jazz on the money line for 33 cents on the unit. And then you take the 33 cents that is left and you take the Jazz team total over the 115 or 115 and a half, 116.
Yeah, I like it. No, it's kind of a total of 232.5. Kind of suggests to me that there's going to be points in this game, and it seems like a Jazz number. If I'm playing any spread on the NBA today, it is absolutely the Jazz. The way the narratives around the Pelicans and Zion are surrounding. I love Zion Williamson, so part of that is me trying to figure out how is this man not going to be what we've seen over his last 6 or 7 games are absolutely outstanding. And against this Jazz, you would expect him to dominate. So, but this obviously doesn't scream like scream that to me. So maybe the Jazz are scoring. So I agree. I like the way you laid it out there with the 3 different plays on the Jazz and the team total there. So I'm interested in that one way or another for sure there.
Last game, Celtics and Lakers. If you stayed up late to watch the Celtics, again, I talked about this earlier on the show. Just an absolute piss poor effort. Now you cannot tell me you were peeking ahead to the Lakers. You don't have to leave the building. If I was the coach, you would have slept in the locker room. That's how I would have been. Celtics opened up with a 3 with a 234, now 4 with a 235 or 235 and a half. This is the biggest game of the year for the Celtics, and this is why. You had the beautiful dream start. No Gallinari, no Time Lord, new coach, and you just came out guns a-blazing. You were the talk of the NBA. Well, let me just tell you this, okay? After the Phoenix Sun win, and you already got the duck boats, you got the parade route and everything, okay? You laid an egg on a game that you told the world you circled. You told the world you circled that game, and the Warriors said, not in our house, pal, no way. And then you lay the egg to the Clippers. If you lose here to the Lakers and you lose 3 in a row out west, you come limping home back east. You're not. I don't care what you think you are. You're not that team right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. And they've got, they've got what's today? So they got a couple days off of this too. But so I'm with you. That is a fair way to phrase it on their side. Would you feel like the Lakers are kind of licking their chops, whether it's because the Celtics are limping in, or I mean they obviously won their most recent game at Detroit. They're coming off of a road trip. Celtics are finishing up this road trip here on the West Coast. Lakers are coming back from the East Coast. Had a couple of games where you lost Anthony Davis after a few minutes to Cleveland after he was dominating, and then him and LeBron sat out for Toronto. They lost by 11, but it was a harder fought game against Philly, and then you bounce back against the Pistons. But the point is they're playing a lot better just in general, right? Especially with Davis there. So this is the point for them as well, where if they win this game, they're probably going to get a lot of respect. Their level of respect around the league are going to go up a lot. So. Another TNT game, so I'm going to be staying far away from it. But I could see it going either way. I'm not going to bet against the Celtics the way they've been going. But, if I'm going anywhere, I'm kind of interested in the Lakers to some degree, kind of handling business tonight and making that statement.
If I am any of the Celtic backers tonight, okay, I'm just going to say this very nicely. Yeah. I would split that 1 unit up, and I would play the first half just to make sure they bounce back, because you could get that pissed off team that comes out guns a-blazing. Yeah. When Tatum plays against LeBron, he wants to put on a show. Look at some Tatum props there as well. And then you got the back half on the other half a unit on the full game. For me, and only me here, I would play the Lakers and say, you know what? The Celtics are going to lose these 3 in a row. I would take a shot with the Lakers plus the 4.5. I would sprinkle a little pizza and beer money on the money line just to see. Again, Celtics win by 10 or $20 to wire would not shock me at all. But I think I just looked, both LeBron and AD will be playing. It's a chance for them to put themselves on the same stage as what the Clippers and the Warriors did. Say, hey, guys, we're putting this back together here. You guys may think we're done here, but we just did what the Clippers did and what Golden State did. So please include us in that. We'll get our shit together by Christmas break. We'll see you in 2023, and we're going to put this together.
Right, and does that mean that they're a perfect team now and should be a champion? They're a true championship contender? Not necessarily. No, but it's like you said, people were essentially writing them off a month ago with how bad they were, and rightfully so. They were a horrendous team to watch and back and play. But yeah, if you get a win, you're 12-15. You're in that 12 seed in the West, which obviously doesn't sound very good, but. The 10th team is only 4.5 games out of the 1 seed. So the pack is still so damn close together. Anybody can get hot, and obviously the teams behind them are trending downwards, going to be tanking teams. But you've got a team right ahead of you in Utah that's presumably going to slip a little bit, and you've got some other teams that could slip as well. So you've got to take care of business these next couple of months to put yourself in position if you're the Lakers, and I think they understand that. And obviously, I know LeBron and AD don't want to be sitting at home in April again. So they're probably going to be a little bit urgent here these next couple of months.
College hoops right now. I just wanted to say this, guys. I know it's 6:05. Keep an eye on VMI and American. Had on my desk over 136 over 136. I bought the hook there. I got that total going. Where is that one on my spreadsheet here? Come on, eyes. We're almost there. How come I can't find it now? Because it started, I guess. I had that at around 140. So there was a little value there. Ken Palm had that one at, wow, these eyes are struggling right now. BMI. I had that at around 141. I'm just trying to give you the exact number where Ken Palm had that. Okay, there it is right there. Ken Palm had it at 142. So keep it an in-game or something there, halftime number there. At 7 o'clock, NC Asheville and South Carolina State. Again, over 150 minus 120. Ken Palm had NC Asheville at 145. Nope, that's not it. I'm sorry. I apologize, guys. These eyes are death to me right now on that one. And the last game at 8 o'clock, over 137, Wisconsin, Green Bay, and St. Thomas. And let me see where Ken Palm had that one. St. Thomas. I mean, 3 dregs of all dregs. It's not a big Tuesday. Tuesday's usually a big slate, too, and it's
this whole week is a little light. I know there's a good game tomorrow night, and then they saved a lot of good ones for Saturday. Saturday's a pretty solid slate for sure in college basketball.
Ken Palm had the Wisconsin, Green Bay, and St. Thomas over 142. So those were the 3 there that I was eyeing there. Again, not a huge slate. The headliner, Memphis and Alabama. Alabama back to number 4 in the country. Dominic Welch is out for them. A number that opened to 7, now 7.5. Again, the public sees them back into the number 4 in the rankings. If you haven't watched Alabama the last few years, they live and die by the 3. Memphis will be able to compete with them athletically. Don't defend the 3 that good. So if Alabama gets off early, that should be a fun one. An under over that opened at 149, now 152.5.
Yeah, for whatever reason, just sticking with that game real quick, I've got 4 kind of random games to throw at you to see if that was fishy or fair lines or whatnot. But I don't know why. Memphis has been a team that as an underdog, they've been my kryptonite. I think I took a swing with them earlier this week or 2 ago against Ole Miss as favorites, the 6.5, 7-point favorites or whatever. I don't remember what I bet them at, but for whatever reason, I have more success with them laying a decent amount of points than I do as as a decent sized underdog, and these games typically end up coming down to the wire on these spreads, and then they just don't cover it. So I'm not saying that's happening, but these two teams are kind of tough teams to bet on, especially in the spots that they're in. So I'm going to be staying far away from that one.
Memphis, 2 losses, 1 to St. Louis, 1 to Seton Hall. After the Seton Hall loss, they have won 6 in a row. Nebraska, Stanford, North Alabama, Mississippi, Little Rock. They just beat Auburn on Saturday in a neutral court by 9. Now I'm going to go to Alabama. Alabama, 1 loss, that was to UConn on a neutral court by 15. Prior to that, they had won 5 in a row. They had beaten Michigan State first on that neutral court, and they closed in 4 overtimes and beat North Carolina. They just beat South Dakota State, and they just beat Houston. At Houston. Right. So it's a perfect letdown spot. They just beat the number 1 team in the country, yet they're 7.5. If you needed action on this game, Ken Palm's got this 76-70, guys. And so I tiptoe over to here, and it's at 152.5. So technically, you're supposed to bet the under 152.5 or to 153.
Yep, and and if I jump in, that'll all lose. So I will be staying far away from anyone that wants to play those games. So like I just said, I won't be playing it. But no, I agree with you. I always find spots where Memphis should be that team, and then they bite me in the ass. So I will stay far away from it. I agree with you 100% there. Alabama, the huge win on Sunday. Both teams did, but like I mentioned, Bama going into Houston and doing it as opposed to Memphis winning on a neutral court, I believe, against Auburn, if I'm not mistaken. And on top of that, Jeff, Alabama's got Gonzaga this upcoming Saturday, so they also have a potentially. I don't know if they're peaking to that game. They've always got a huge, but 3 behemoths of games here on their December schedule, as opposed to a lot of these teams that are playing cupcakes. So interesting there for Alabama this time of year.
What were your games, sir?
Did you mention I was locking something or teetering with something else? So I think I heard the couple of them. I just want to make sure I'm not bringing up something you already mentioned. Furman and NC State, was that one? You didn't mention that one, did you?
You got great eyes. You know, and I know that's a Furman number.
I didn't realize. I hadn't been paying. Furman didn't catch my radar. I didn't realize they were as highly rated, but nonetheless, that has to be a Furman number. So I was making sure it wasn't. Maybe it's a fair number, and I just haven't been giving Furman enough credit. But that one, scrolling down, and you see an NC State team that's played a decent. Or has had a decent record, but has been a little iffy these last week or so. It was interesting. I didn't play it, but it was interesting to me to see that one as low as it was.
Ken Palm, NC State 56, Furman 83. I'll bring up the Furman resume right now. 3 losses: Penn State, ODU, and High Point. Their wins. North Greenville, not ranked. They beat Belmont, South Carolina. They beat Tusculum, not ranked. App State, South Carolina State, and Winthrop. Okay, so they have beaten absolutely no one. Okay, now I go over to NC State. 3 losses, ranked 56 on Ken Palm. Their losses to Kansas, Pitt, and Miami of Florida. So that number should be a lot higher in my book. Ken Palm has it 81.75. The public has taken that one. Where is it? From 6 and 154 to 6.5. I did see it tip to 7 earlier this afternoon. It's back to 6.5. It's Furman for me or nothing.
Yep, 100% with you. I was double checking. Let's see, on DraftKings Tracker, 70% of bets, 81% of money on the old Wolf Pack of NC State there. So I left it on the desk. I think I'm going to leave it on the desk, but I'm with you. Furman or nothing for me as well on that one. Other one that I'm interested in, 9-1 Marshall, 88th per Ken Palm, and 156 per Ken Palm, 4-6 record, 2.5 or 2 in some spots spread. Is that one a little smelly to you as far as UNCG being a right side there?
Well, overnight number of 4 with a 141.5. I'm seeing 43 at Circa as we speak with the 2 per Ken Palm here. Where are we? That's going to be one of the higher ranked games. And it's not here. How come? Probably the eyes are deceiving me again. Let me see. Am I that blind that they're not even on here, Riley?
I don't know. 6 o'clock my time, 7 o'clock your time.
It's already started. Maybe that's the reason. I don't have it up here on Ken Palm for some reason. Hold on one second. Let me just do this.
Now it starts about 45, but
Yeah,
45
no,
minutes.
they're making me work today. That's okay. I won't be stopped. Marshall, uh, opening day lost to Queens. Then they've won 3, 6, 9 in a row against Texas Tech, Miami of Ohio, Coppin State, Chicago State, Morehead State, Akron, Ohio, Duquesne. They just beat Robert Morris. UNC Greensboro have lost 2, 5, 6 games. Okay. They have beaten Johnson and Wales. They have beaten UMBC, Montana State, and Elon. Their losses to Miami of Florida, Townsend, Hofstra, Stephen F. Austin, NCAAT, and Arkansas. They just lost to on Tuesday. So they've had a week off. They lost by 7. It's very simple, people. It's Greensboro or nothing. That's actually a good play, actually. Greensboro plus
That is
the 2.5.
That was the one play that I came to the table already having locked in. So I think I caught him 2.5. I see 2.5 in a lot of spots, 2 down on DraftKings over there. So yeah, that one was one that I had locked in already. The total, honestly, I guess I think the story is kind of meeting in the middle. Marshall has a lot of the high totals. UNCG, a lot of 130s, so maybe not so much. But yeah, UNCG was one I was interested in for sure, and I've got a little action on there.
Nope, that's it. And I know you're going to get the next one. I'm going to see if you get it. Go ahead.
Let's see. UMass Lowell and Rhode Island. Is that another one that was?
That's one. On our show this morning with Julian, he talked about UMass Lowell. We talked about them beating UMass, and they did. Per him, they're the best New England team other than UConn. He expects them to roll against Rhode Island.
Okay. No, I and it wouldn't shock me at all. I wanted to bring it up to you. Obviously, you both these teams a lot more in your neck of the woods. Whenever I so far this season, I've just had eye-opening spots where 11-1 team up against the 3-7 team, and it's a line such as this throws up some red flags to me. Would it surprise me if UMass Lowell rolled? No, but I was pumping the brakes on this one for sure. That's all I was saying. 118 UMass Lowell on KenPom, 193 Rhode Island. Kind of a shame. I usually, I guess I don't know what the last couple of years have entailed, but over the last decade, Rhode Island's been a really, under the radar, sometimes not even under the radar, a really fun team to watch and a solid tournament team at times. So, yeah, this one was at least red flag to me, and I'm staying far away from UMass Lowell as far as mine is concerned. Wouldn't surprise me if they rolled up.
There's one more. I swear I have faith in you.
Maybe I wasn't looking deep enough. There was one that with an SEC team that seemed kind of slim. So maybe I don't have it. Maybe I overlooked it. So I might let you down on this one. But LSU was the other one. Maybe it's fair. Maybe I'm missing something. But LSU and NC Central as 13.5, 14-point favorites just seemed a little slim to me with an SEC team up against 63 per KenPom, up against 215 on KenPom, NC Central. That one seemed a little slim to me and a little funky there for the LSU side there.
KenPom has it at 14.77.63. An NC Central team here at 215, as you said, loses to Virginia, App State, Liberty, Radford, and they just lost by 12 to Marquette. Winners against 3 non-ranked teams, Middle Atlantic Christian, Montreat, and St. Andrews. They really, honestly, their only 2 wins are to Gardner-Webb and UNC Asheville. An LSU team, 1 loss to K-State. They have beaten UMKC, Arkansas State, New Orleans, Illinois State, your team, Akron, Wofford, UT Arlington. They just beat Wake Forest by 2 on a neutral court. Again, I'm staying far, far away. It is definitely an NCC game there. Yeah. The one game that my eyes, it just looked low. I thought you'd be on it. I had it at a 5.5 with a 145. The public's pushed it to 7.5 in one spot, or actually a couple spots, and that's Rick Pitino and Iona. That is on a neutral court against Princeton. Now, Iona at 58, Princeton at 102. Iona right now is 2 losses to Hofstra and Santa Clara, and their wins against Penn, UVM, Niagara, Canisius, St. Louis, and they just beat the Bonnies by 18 on Sunday. In comes this Princeton team. 2 losses in a row to start the year. Hofstra and Navy. They've rode 3, 6, 8 in a row. UMBC, Marist, Army, Northeastern, Karn, Drexel, Lafayette, and Monmouth. And we all know Monmouth is not good. I thought the number was low, and Ken Palm has it 75-71 Iona. I thought the play here, honestly, was Princeton plus the 7.5. If you bought the hook, you could take them up to 8.
This was the other one that I looked at, and I kind of looked at for a second. I just didn't know. I haven't seen much of Princeton, so I did not put that one on the sheet. That one was one of the other ones that I was looking at, and like I said, just didn't know enough about Princeton. But now looking at the public splits, it doesn't surprise me. No matter what the number is, in most spots, the public loves good old Rick Pitino. So I'm liking that you kind of affirmed my initial kind of thoughts there, but then I backed off. So I'm with you. I could see that being a nice. Wouldn't strike me. Princeton got the win in that one. I could see it for sure.
In hockey tonight, guys, listen, last night every game went under but the Rangers and the Devils, and I did talk about the Nashville game going over. Mr. PB says, wow, I haven't had a loss like that. And I was like, well, I'd rather lose on an over 6-1-0 in overtime than lose 3-2 with 5 empty net shots and the push. There are team total for the ECSI VIPs. Again, the Wild 3.5 over. Too early, no more. Thanks for playing there. Tonight, huge slate. Not a lot standing out, to be honest with you guys. The one game that I had pegged, 8:07, Winnipeg and Vegas. It was a 133 overnight. I wrote it down on the desk, and it was at 127. It had dropped. Well, now it's at 145. At Circa, it's at 140. A little too steep for my blood there. I was just following the actual opening line. I like the Jets to get the win. I'm not going out to tell anyone to go play a minus 147. I don't tell people to go play regulation. I don't tell them to go play puck lines unless I'm using them in a parlay. And I'm just going to say this. And listen, guys, I want to get into that game. I do, but I hate when I try to navigate how I have to get in there. I'll just say this. The Winnipeg team total is 3.5 under minus 145. You can get Winnipeg to get to 4 at plus 125. So I like Winnipeg to win this game. How you get involved in it is up to you. The Bruins come home tonight against the Islanders, down to 5.5. Now, the Bruins have not been allowing goals to opponents. Vegas came in and broke the 14-game winning streak and got to 4 there in overtime. Islanders team total is only at 2.5. I would say initially take the under there. It smells to me. Maybe this is a 4-3 game and the Islanders get to 3 there. Nashville and Preds, a lot of back-to-backs tonight. Over 6.5 there. I like Edmonton to get their team total. It's 3.5. You can get them to 4 at plus 5 cents. So there's plus money there. Kings Sabres, everyone expects that to go over. Both at 3.5 under 125. Who gets to 4? Who gets the plus 105 money there? And there's one team total of the VIPs I am going to give it out. It's a late game tonight. Anyone watching and listening that wants the team total on the late night game tonight can DM me at EC Sports Investor. Send me an email at eastcoastsportsinvestors@gmail.com. I'll give you the late night special team total. That's it from me. What do you got? Anything else?
I got just the one to ask you for me and my locals here. I am obviously not the hockey guy. And you can, as always, especially in this case, feel free to crush my soul as hard as necessary if it doesn't apply here. Blackhawks and Capitals line seem a little short to you against my stinky Blackhawks the way they've been playing lately.
If I remember correct, Washington played a long road trip, came home, played a couple games. Now I'm looking at the team totals. 3.5 over for Washington is minus 20 cents. They're begging you to say they're going to get to 4 tonight.
All right.
Your Blackhawks are at 2.5 minus 110. Your under over is a 6. The way I read this is an under 6 and 3-2 Blackhawks or 3-2 Capitals. That's where I read that game. 3-2 is the final score. If anyone wants to play exactas tonight, Washington 3-2, Blackhawks 3-2. Have some fun with that one. But I don't think Washington gets over 3. And you could tinker with the Blackhawks team total over 2.5, or you can play the exactas there.
Okay.
And I did want to say one thing, if TJ is listening, your Stonehill Crusaders, I think it is, he's going to come back and say it's not the Crusaders, and I apologize. Lancers or something like that. I forget there. They are at Boston College. I had a number of 14 with a 138.5. It's down to 12.5 with a 137.5. So, TJ, if you're listening, there's some money coming in on Stonehill.
Skyhawks. It's the Skyhawks.
Skyhawks. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
So the Skyhawks are getting action against the BC Eagles tonight.
Interesting stuff. No, as far as me, closing thoughts. Well, shout out to your Argentina pick getting to the World Cup, my friend. I've got an angle that I'm trying to, and part of me I kind of have it in my head how I want to play this, but I am just kind of I don't know. I don't even know how to dissect the sport of soccer. I enjoy watching the World Cup to some degree. Took a piece of plus money on France to win the World Cup. Now I have the opportunity to get France as the runner-up at plus 155. And I guess my main question is, should I be concerned if I do that? Should I be concerned that they will lose to Morocco tomorrow, or are they going to roll through Morocco like Argentina did today?
Okay. I gave out Argentina plus 800. I gave out Messi to win the Golden Boot at plus 900. Now we are guaranteed 4-1. I saw France was the favorite. I saw France would be a short favorite against Argentina. Now Argentina wins 3-0. France hasn't played yet. So if Morocco wins, we'll take Morocco at plus 200 for 2 units. Guarantee ourselves 5 units. If France is in there, I will tell people to have at least 3 units or 3.5 units on France. Go take your 4 units with pride, and then use your 9-1 on Messi as the cherry on top.
Right.
A soccer expert told me this, and I don't know this.
Yeah.
Morocco has not given up a real goal in this whole tournament. So what is the price for Morocco to win tomorrow?
To win tomorrow, plus 320.
And what is the price on France to advance?
440. Sorry, that's both of these are to qualify for the next round. Morocco 320, France minus 440.
And you already have a piece of what?
I've got France plus 130 to win the whole thing. So I have the opportunity, unless I'm concerned that France is losing tomorrow, I can get France as the runner-up at plus 155 as opposed to picking, because Argentina's minus 120 to win it all right now. And so
which is going to go up higher, obviously, if Morocco wins.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so you got France to win it all already at plus money.
Correct. And so I'm saying I can also get France to lose in the final at plus 150, but then that screws me if Morocco wins tomorrow.
Okay, so what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to play a quarter unit or a half unit on Morocco to win tomorrow. Okay, and then this is what happens. If they do, you've already doubled your money.
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
No sweat.
And if they lose, you got the plus money still on the favorite to beat Argentina.
Right.
You can obviously loop back around and say, I get a little money on Argentina and I get the plus money because France was favored against Argentina.
Yeah.
Prior. Now Argentina wins 3-0. If this goes to a full-fledged shootout and France tiptoes in, you might get a pure pick'em at that on Sunday.
Right.
So you can roll dice here. Here's what you can. have the true sweat and say, I think France is going to do what Argentina did, like you said. And then we got 3 days to evaluate the numbers. You can do that. That's not a problem.
Sure. No, part of this is just like I see a way to do this, and then I'm like, well, I guess I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. Like you said, I don't know that Morocco hasn't allowed a goal, so now I'm rethinking everything I'm doing here. As far exactly. So that was more so me bringing that to the table. Like, am I missing something as far as the way this is going to play out here? But obviously I might be, because I don't know what that. I was just trying to get it. Yeah.
No. You're on the right side. It's supposed to be France versus Argentina.
Right.
And so you can sit down and relax and just say, hey, Argentina, we're coming for you. I got the number. I got the highest rated team left, and that's France.
Right.
I have plus money. We'll come see you on Sunday and we'll figure it out then. Or if you just want to breathe a little, let's just say for shits and giggles, I'm not. You had 100 to make 135 on Argentina. You could literally put 30. On France. You could put $30 to make 180 on Morocco. Right. And even if you lost that, you still have enough to cover the other side.
Right. That that definitely makes sense. I in my head it was like, oh, France has got Morocco, they're rolling through Morocco, no problem. I got instead of taking Argentina at minus money to win the whole thing, I can just get France to lose in the final at plus 155. But yeah, obviously I don't know what the hell I'm talking about with Morocco. So that's I'm glad I brought it to the table, because I was glad to get France at the plus money and then get them to this point. I'm feeling good, but still just trying to find a way to guarantee some profit here. But that does sound like what I'll do. Yeah.
And I'm going to close with this, guys. ECSI VIPs 26-6 our last 32, and you're holding Argentina at 8-1, and you're holding Messi at 9-1. Okay, now, common sense is you want to just hold these Sunday, and you said, I told you. ECSI doesn't operate like that. My ass is running to the window, and I'm taking the 4.5 units with pride. Now, if Morocco wins, it makes it even easier. I'll put $2 on Morocco plus 250, and I'm guaranteed 5 units. I have no shame in my game. That's what all about. And I'm using the 9-1 on Messi as my cherry on top. And that's when I start doing the dance and the Cabbage Patch and all that stuff. And so people that want to hold the Holy Grail, it's like when we're talking golf. There's 156 golfers, and I bet 200 on Rory at plus 15-1, and he's the runner-up. Well, how'd you do? Because I broke it up, and I had Hovland at 35-1. I'm sorry I beat you in a playoff, but I cashed and you didn't.
Right. No, 100%. And that's I'm glad that we can do some of that type of educating. And when it's an NBA situation or NFL situation, in my head, I'm easily able to come to the table knowing what the hell to do in this situation. I'm like, is Morocco, are they gonna get blown out 6-0 tomorrow, or do they have a legitimate chance? I have no idea. So,
I'll ask you the closing thoughts here. What is the under over in that game? Is it 2.5?
Let's see. Let's see. 1.5, 2.5. Over 2.5 is plus 130. So it's kind of 2, honestly. But over 2.5 is plus 130.
All right. So they're saying so they're saying 2. What did they offer you for France minus a half goal?
Oh boy. Let's see. I don't even know where to go to look, but it's got to be here, obviously somewhere here. Let's see, team props. Shoot, now I'm the one that can't figure out the technology. I'm used to the football and basketball and baseball spreads and hockey spreads coming right up, and I know exactly where to go on these damn apps. I don't do enough soccer betting here.
I'm the same way here. Okay. World Cup to advance. Okay, France minus 400, Morocco plus 325. This is at circa. Exact score 90 minutes. France 1-0 is plus 450. France 2-0 is plus 495. France 2-1, 795. Okay, so they're telling you France here 1-0.
Yeah.
Let me see on a draw. A draw 0-0 795. A draw 1-1 is 710. So a draw at 1-1 is the favorite there. So a France 2-1 at 795 and it goes over. If you're going to get a big 350 price, if I was you, I'd put a third on Morocco just to cover your ass and get a little profit on the other side. It's a no sweat bet for you. Then we have a couple days to navigate what you need to do on the Argentina side, or you just let it ride on the France, or you already made your money on Morocco.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's definitely what I'll do there. Still trying to navigate these damn apps as far as where everything is with these soccer bets. But no, I agree with you. I think that's definitely what I'll do.
Tomorrow, 1:00, Andrew McGinnis, Wager Talk, Ian at McGinnis Picks. And around 3:30, 4:00, somewhere in that time, you and I will do a closing bell. Thursday, I will be on the road, heading up to Yukon to grab Kylie on the Christmas break. We're trying to beat the snowstorm, supposedly, on Friday. Big Ten or no Big Ten?
Depending,
Undecided.
Undecided. We can talk in a second. Yeah, if you want to. It's I'm definitely traveling. I just not entirely sure when I'll be traveling and when you're available in the morning there.
Are you available Saturday morning?
I can probably make myself available. I will not be here in my home office, but we can talk about that. It's a definitely maybe.
Okay, because I'm just saying, if we don't do a Friday, I'll have Lucky on at 4:00.
Okay.
We'll do a closing bell, and I'll have Lucky on. And I'm just trying to get the games out for the Big Ten and the rest of the college hoops for the weekend. It's not a problem either which way. So
right, because if we had to skip a week for the Big Ten basketball weekend, I wouldn't be upset. But at some point, I would like to do a Big Ten football bowl breakdown, and I know we've got a little time for that, and so maybe we're flexible with that. And there's none this upcoming weekend, but we can figure it out for sure, though.
So why don't we just make this easy? We're going to do a closing bell tomorrow.
Okay.
And then you're going to have the weekend off, and we're going to revisit this on Monday.
That works for me. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think we decided or saw that the Big Ten football started after Christmas, so which should still. I mean, you don't want those are another one where you don't want to wait until the day of because then those are even bigger carcasses than what you talk about with an NFL Sunday. So, I think that's a good plan right there.
Okay, and then we will probably meet during the week of next week before the holidays because, let me see, Christmas Day is Saturday and Friday is Christmas Eve. Is that correct?
I think Christmas is Sunday. Christmas
okay,
Eve
so Christmas
Saturday.
is Saturday. Okay, so we might be able to fill in on Friday on that or Thursday. We'll figure it out where we get the bowl games out for everyone on the Big Ten.
Yeah. Yep, that works for me. Sounds good.
And I heard there's 2 Big Tens in the semifinals. That's what I heard. I don't know. I just
sounds crazy to me. I was told that would never happen.
Me either. From myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from the one and only Riley Magnuson at Riley_Madison1. We wish everyone a blessed evening. ECSI VIPs, I know you haven't got your alert yet, so it's coming right after the show. I will have it out soon. So everyone have a great evening. I hope you got a lot from us tonight, and we will see you soon.